Emily is in St. Louis. Hi, Emily. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Better than we deserve. How can we help?
Well, first, I wanted to say you don't get enough credit for your amazing comedic timing. So if you get sick of this whole radio thing, you could always do stand up instead.
Oh, bless your heart.
I'm here for that Netflix special.
How can we help?
So I'm about to jump up in rent from 900 to almost double that at 1,600 a month.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to make sure I'm not making a big mistake because I do have a relatively low income. I net about $2,500 a month. So the reason why I do think that it might be okay for me to do that is I am very fortunate to have a trust fund, and I do draw $700 a month from that, and then it is always just there in the background. I try not to even think about that it exists because I want to save that for my retirement, but it is there.
What do you do for a living?
Well, luckily it's George today instead of John because I'm in doggy daycare. I heard you guys arguing about that recently.
Okay. You do doggy daycare. Yeah, I'm not here with
Yes.
that. I missed that discussion. Okay. I can only imagine. Okay. But you're not making much money.
Correct.
So what's your long-term career plan?
Well, I'm 34, and for a long time I really didn't have a career plan because I had a very difficult multi-year struggle with crippling anxiety and depression. And it got started turning around when I actually started working in doggy daycare. It changed my entire life. And now I'm like, I used to be miserable. It was very hard for me to get out of bed in the morning. And now I'm just like one of the happiest people I know. I have the pandemic. Actually, I'm an introvert, and it's kind of I feel bad saying that the pandemic really was great for my mental health because I had this 3-month period where I just got as much alone time as I needed without neglecting my friends or family or my job. But it really just started me on this big upward trajectory of healing. And so now I do feel like maybe I could, without jeopardizing my mental health, start looking in other directions. Unfortunately, the other direction I want to look in is screenwriting. That's my degree is in film.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, that.
I think you can start that now. I think you can start that now while
Well,
you're doing this. And I think you need to start
I
doing
actually have them.
and
That's
I
what
think
I'm
you need
doing.
to start
So
doing
I have,
some freelance writing also to start making some extra money right now. Because, honey,
I do.
I really love the doggy daycare has helped with your anxiety. I love all that. I think that's fun, and I like that part of your story. What I don't like is that you're trading it for another kind of anxiety called financial anxiety because you don't make any money, and you
Right?
cannot do rent that is 50% of your income and prosper.
Right.
You're not going to prosper. So no, the $1,600 rent with a $3,200 income, including your trust money, that's 50% of your income. You're going to struggle, and so I would stay with the 900 for a while,
So I've been at the 900 for 4 years actually, and it's a teeny tiny apartment, about 275 square feet.
doesn't matter.
And
You can't afford it.
okay, yeah,
Doesn't
okay.
matter. You can't afford to go to 50%. It's just,
Okay.
it's like, okay, I'm driving an old car, but I'd really like a brand new car. Well, you can't afford it. You don't have any money. And
Yeah.
so that's kind of where this is, and it's cold, but it's a math thing. It's not an emotion thing. Now,
Right.
what I do want you to do is I do want you to have some hope to move into a better place, but that hope is tied to changing your income. That's why I was asking you those other questions.
Yeah, the thing, Emily, I want you to
Right.
think about is your long-term future, not just what's going to happen next year, but the next 10 years. Where do I want to be? Do I want to be a homeowner because rent's going to keep going up? And so when you think about it that way, 50% of your take-home pay being eaten up by your rent means you're not going to be able to save up for that down payment. You're not going to be able to invest 15% and retire with dignity. So I want you to think longer term and make decisions based on that.
So the good news is there are plenty of ways for folks that are introverts to make a lot of money. It does not require that you put yourself in a highly in a crowded room, every day, all day to make a living. I wouldn't recommend that. I'm not proposing that to you, but I do want you to say, okay, what can I do that gives me the same kind of peace that what I'm currently doing does, and makes 3 times more. And I don't know what that is exactly. It could be in the writing area. It could be. The good news is that you can do a lot of writing now from home, and then you move up into a little better place, and then you start saving for a house. But we got to get your income up long term, or you're going to be trading one kind of anxiety for another. That's what's going to end up happening. And no, I cannot. I'm going to beg you not to do the $1,600 in rent until you do something to change your income. Hold on. We're going to have the team pick up and send you a copy of Ken Coleman's book, From Paycheck to Purpose, and also the career assessment as well. The career assessment, and that'll help you maybe determine some ideas of some things you could work on that would be beneficial. The good news in our current world, George, is that there's so many jobs available. There's such a shortage of labor in almost every area that she can probably find something that is not a high stress,
Yeah.
high anxiety situation. That
Every
pays a lot more.
headline is there's a shortage of pizza delivery drivers now.
Yeah.
And so you can go make really good money, $25 an hour delivering pizzas.
She can actually make more than she's making now doing that.
And this doesn't have to be forever. People think, well, I don't want to do that. Well, I'm asking you to do it for a year to clean your financial mess up.
Yeah. And we saw an article come out yesterday. Every Pizza Hut, Domino's, they're all they're seeing drop in sales, and the revenues are down, not because people don't want pizzas, but because they don't have any drivers to deliver them. And when delivery is down, sales are down, and so all of them stock is hurting. And because their profits are down because they're not delivering pizzas, they can't get drivers, and so there is a shortage. And so this is what Biden Bucks did. When you pay people not to work, people, here's how this works. When you pay people not to work, guess what they do?
They don't work.
They don't work. How's that work?
Is that called cause and effect? That's scientific.
Yeah. See, economics. It's a tricky little business, this econ thing. Yeah. Pay people not to work, and then they won't work. Yeah. Create a shortage of anything, and the price goes up.
Supply and demand.
People. So guess what your inflation is caused by? Labor cost. Gone through the roof. You can't get people to work. This is the Ramsey Show.